Any answers that you are having, it's fine. You can type it, or anything you have to say, you can tell it to me also. What do you mean by collection? I speak up, no? Somebody. Open your mouth. Okay, you talk to me, like talk to me as a friend only. Okay, don't treat me as a teacher. You talk to me as a friend, right? What you understood yesterday, if you did not understand, you tell me I did not understood, right? So that if you talk to me something, I'll understand. Okay, what stage we were yesterday, and from today what we can take it forward, right? So if you don't tell me, then I will not be like I will not have that comfort feel to start, right? Just tell me what we understood yesterday, right? The first thing that we understood was what is collections, right? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by collections? Whatever you understood, okay? It's not like a standard answer I'm expecting. Whatever you understood. Superb. Yeah, we can store different type of data, right? Like for example, one can store a data like integer. He can store data of type float. He can store data of string. He can store any type of data in a collection, right? That is something good. Yeah, that is the first thing that that we learned yesterday. Okay. Apart from that, what are data structures? Yesterday I was talking to you about data structures, right? So there are a lot of data structures you listed down to me, saying few people told there is an array as a data structure, and some people told list is a data structure, or queue is a data structure, stack is a data structure, graph is a data structure, tree is a data structure. All of you told me about the data structures available in Python or in Java, right? Any programming language. So you told me the basic data structures. But what was the main advantage of going for Java is all these data structures are already built in. Means you don't want to go and write the code for all that. Already these data structures are readily available with us, right? Readily available with us in the form of collection API, right? So if you see this diagram here, you can easily see there are some interfaces and there are some classes. So these classes are already built in. Where these classes are present, these classes are present in util package. Java.util package, all this, so you can see Java.util package, all these classes are present. So by using this, right, you can create collection. Collection is nothing but collection of objects, right? Like it can be similar type of objects or it can be different type of objects. Yesterday, we did one example where we had a collection of similar type of data. Say, for example, we had in collections, yeah, wrote something called as products, right? There is a class called as products, right? And there is something called as product name, discount, and price. Okay, so in main method, what we did, we created an array list of products. What do we mean by array list of products? What I just did, I created one object. What is this object? It is a collection object. So what you can store inside this collection object, or what is the size of the collection object? So always remember what is the advantage of coming to collection is like you have arrays to store multiple values, but arrays are fixed in size, right? But collections are growable in nature. So like I created this one array list. How many elements I can put into it? Countless elements I can put into it. So as and when you add elements, so here I'm adding these values, right? Like I'm setting the product name, I'm setting this and all that, right? So the moment I add those product one, product two, product three, there is no limit. You can add any number of products that you want to add into the list or this array list that you created. Array list is nothing but list. Okay, the backend implementation or backend data structure of array list class is nothing but array. You know array, right? You will access it in terms of index, zeroth index, first index, second index, third index. So similarly, you can access even this products. Products is nothing but an array list now. So array list of products. You can see this is array list as a class, right? And you have products. So what is this angular braces that I have written here is, so this angular braces says, and like it's a generic type saying that I can only store products inside it. Okay. Now if I go and store something like list one dot some other data type. Okay. Now I am trying to store some other data type. It will give error. Now I can't store a string value in it. Okay. Say I can't add list one dot add. I can't go and add some value like this. Say I had I can't add some name like this. Okay. So the moment I add it, it will give me error saying that, hey, you have declared, because you have declared an array list and you are saying it can only store products inside it. Means you can only store objects of type product. So what you are trying to store is a string value. It is not acceptable. It is saying it is not acceptable. Okay. What you can store, you can again go and store some object of product. You can create a new product object, and that product object you can store. Already I have product one, product two, product three. Any one of this product you want to store, you can easily go and store it. So it will allow any other products to be, any type of products to be stored in it, not any other type. Are you able to understand this, right? So this is something very important. Going forward, you will be able to understand everything based on somebody. Please go on mute. Hello. Is there any echo now? Like you are able to hear me properly? I was able to hear some echo due to some issues. So are you able to hear that echo now? No, right? Okay, so fine. So now we'll go to we'll go and create a new package. Okay, so I'll create a new package called as collections. Okay, and understand some more things about collections. Okay, so to understand that, I want some example to be given. So I want you to give me some example. Okay, so you give me any name, any items or any collection of items that you want to do. Okay, are you able to understand? Yesterday we did products, right? Similarly, you tell me any item that you want to collect. Right? You would want to collect something, right? So can you tell me one example? I will take your example. What do you want to collect? Collection of what you would like to have? What do you want? What do you want to collect now? Yesterday we collected products. Similarly, today you want to collect something. You can give me that example so that I will actually do that collection. Collection of what? Guys, please be interactive. I want you guys to tell me what is the example that you want. I don't want to take my example. I want you to give me the example. Yeah, come on. What do you want? Not able to see anything in the chat window. Somebody? Cars. Okay. Somebody wants a collection of cars. Okay. Let us go for cars. Okay. Cars. So what is this cars class? So cars is nothing but it's a generic class that we are having. So now using this, what we will do, we will create collections. Like last class we understood array list, right? So array list is nothing but similar to your array in the backend data structure, right? So however you are having array, now you are having array list. Now we'll go and explore some other collection class. Okay, some other new collection class. Let us go and understand. Okay, So now here I will write, say what are the attributes of car? Maybe string. What do we see in the car in the primary thing? Maybe we'll see color, right? So color is one thing that we'll have. So automatically we'll declare it as private. You know why do we declare it as private also, right? Private color. Okay. Apart from that color, what do we observe in cars? Private. What do we observe in car basically, or what a car has? Main thing we'll see the budget of a car or price of a car, right? So I will write int price of that car. And what else we will look at? We'll look at the mileage, right? So generally, yeah, somebody also mentioned mileage. So let me take private, right? Mileage, private. Maybe I'll take it as float just for a different data type. Float. Cost I've taken it as price. Okay. Maybe price you don't want, I'll take it as cost only. Cost. Anything else in car you can think and tell me. Mileage. 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 What else do you see in a car? Like when you go and purchase a car, what else will interest you? What else will interest you in cars? Well, we'll see that sunroof is there or not, right? So that we'll take Boolean. Boolean. Yeah, features I know. Private Boolean. Boolean. And we will say sunroof. Sunroof. Okay. Super. Now, this is something that we need to design. So this is an object. It's like a blueprint. Class is nothing but a blueprint, right? We say how many cars we can have. You can have any number of cars by using this class. So to do that, to create object of cars, you need a constructor. Either you need a constructor or you need getters and setters, right? So what I will do, I'll go to source and create constructor. So here you have an option to create a constructor called as create constructor using fields. So I click on that. So it'll asking for cost, color, cost, mileage, and sunroof. So I click on generate, right? I selected everything and I click on generate. See, beautifully it created one constructor for me, right? By using this constructor, now I can create car objects. How many objects I can create? Any number of objects I can create. Okay. Now, instead of using getters and setters, I am using constructor. Okay. I can also use constructor to do it. And what are the functionalities that car can perform? Car can perform some functionalities, right? Like car, every car has its own functionality to do, right? For example, if you are purchasing an uh, SUV, which is 7-seater, like it is used for some long distance or long drives. Or if you're purchasing a hatchback or hatchback with 5 seaters, this is only for the city drives, right? And if you're purchasing a sedan with 5 seaters, basically sedan will come as 5 seaters, and it is used for some purpose. So these are cars which we use for some purpose. So one purpose that we use is private travel purpose, right? Travel. So I will take it as a void function, void travel. Fine. So I don't want to make it as abstract method, so I'll give some implementation. So travel around the world. Done. Now, I have cars, I have a constructor, and I also have some method also in it. Okay, beautifully I created one class. Now what I will do, I will go and create a collection of it. So for that, what I will do, I'll create one more class where I have main method. So I'll write main and I'll include public static void main also in it and finish it. So now I have a main method. Now I will go and create a collection. So in Java, to create a collection, you don't want to write your own code, like how you write in Python or how you write in C programming. You don't want to go and write everything, right? So in C programming or C++ programming, if you want to do data structures, one thing that you need is that node, right? To define a node, you will write some enumeration or some enum, and then you create that node, right? But in Java, it is nothing but this class, right? Class acts as a node. Every class is a node, or every object is a node. Okay. Now, let us go and choose which data structure that you want to implement. Already you implemented array list, right? You can also go and use linked list. What is linked list? What is the difference between array list and linked list? Anybody in the class? Any difference between array list and linked list? Array list, the backend data structure that they use is arrays, right? But if you see linked list, it is not the same way how arrays are, right? Linked list has that node to node connection, linking part, correct? There is singly linked list and doubly linked list. If you have learned data structures, you know this, right? So there will be a node and an address. So one node address will be pointing to the next node data, right? So similarly, there is a link of nodes which are made, right? So like if you want me to give example, it will be like a train, train, no? So there will be like different boxes in the train, or your compartments in the train. All of them are linked to one another. So that is how this linked list would look like, correct? So now we will do what we will do. We will have linked list of elements. Okay. Next we will come to stack, but I'll go for linked list of elements. So if I want to perform linked list, what I should do here, I have to create object of linked list. Okay. So I'll use linked list. Okay. So here you have linked list. So now it is asking generic type. What type of linked list you want? Now I want linked list of cars, correct? So I will go and give cars. I want a linked list of only cars. Okay. So list of cars, list of cars. List of cars is equal to new linked list of. Okay, done. So now I created one collection successfully. Now what is the size of this list of cars? It's a linked list. It's a linked list. Size of this car can be any size. Okay. Why I am saying any size? This is the advantage of coming for collections. Okay. So when you are using a collection, as and when you add elements, okay, if you add 10 elements, size will become 10. If you are adding 11th element, the size will increase. Okay, if you're like automatically, it will keep on increasing. If you add 1 crore elements also, the size of the linked list will keep on growing. Unless your arrays, the size is fixed there. But here, length of the collection is growable in nature. How much you want, you can store in it. Okay. Fine. So this is one thing. Now I'll go and add, right? So I will go and add list of cars dot. Now, what is the method that you will use to add elements into linked list? Do you remember what will you do to add element into linked list? You are using an method called as add method. Okay. And what does that return? Or you can go with add, you can pass the index and a car element. Okay. So you can use any one of these methods to add. Okay. If you want to add it at the beginning, right? Add at the beginning is one method that you have in linked list, right? So you can go and add at first or add at last, right? There are a lot of methods which are there in linked list which are listed here. You can do any of these methods you can use now. Okay. So initially I will just go with add. So I'll add. Now I want a new car object. Okay. New car object that I want. New cars of. Okay. So what is the color of car that you need to choose? Maybe I'll choose a car with white color. White color. And what is the cost of the car? It's an integer value. Maybe it is around 10 lakh 50,000. Okay. And what is the mileage? Maybe it gives 15 kilometer per hour. It's a or 15.5 kilometer. It's a float value. So I'm passing float. And whether you have sunroof or not. Okay. So if you take in this budget, you will never get a sunroof. So I'll just use false. False. Okay. So now what I did, I successfully created one object and added that to the list. Okay. I successfully created an object and added that to the list. Which list? Linked list. Okay. Now, can you tell me in any other programming languages, can you do this simple data structure? Can you do data structure so simply? Can you go and check it out and come back? Not possible. Only in Java this is possible. Okay. You already have a data structure already with you, and you can just use this method add to add. Okay. Now white will be there in the first node, right? First node, white car will be there. Okay. Maybe you can have brand name also if you want. Instead of this color, you can have brand name. Maybe you can have Maruti, or you can have say BMW or Nexa. I don't know. Whatever you want to add, you can also add that also. Okay. It's not limited to anything. You can add. Okay. As of now, I'll just go with the color of cars. Okay. Now I go for another new car. Maybe it was a white car. Now instead of me adding at the end, means add will what does it do? It will go add it at the end, right? Now I don't want to add it at the end. Now I want to add first. So there is something called as add first. The moment I use add first, what does it do? This element that you are adding now will be added in the beginning, right? It will be added in the beginning of the list. Okay. Now, what will be the first car now is red car. Imagine there is a red car, which is 11 lakh 3,000, and also there is a sunroof. Okay. I'll make this as true. And what is the mileage it gives? Maybe it is slightly less. Okay, so it will not give 15. Maybe it will give 13.5 kilometers per liter. Okay. Now I have added a red car, right? I have added a red car before white car. So that is this add first method. Add first method. What add first method will do? It will add that car as a first node. Add at the beginning. There was a method called as add at the beginning. The same implementation will be given to you here. Okay. Now, in case you want to do something else, say you want to add one more car. So and you are just adding at the last, or you can just do add at last. There are a lot of methods basically I wanted to introduce you to. So there are a lot of methods. See, add. Now if you want to add full collection, you can use add all. You have clear method, contains method. A lot of methods are there. Like, it is impossible for me to go and teach each one of these methods, but I'm teaching you the important methods. Okay. Fine. So you can also use a method called as push and pop here. See, you have push method and pop method. You can also use push method and pop method in this. Okay. What does push do? Push will add or push one element at the end. Push and pop will come in stacks, right? If you remember, like if you push, it will go at the last as the last element. If you pop, the last element will be popped first, right? So that is how it behaves. Either you can use push and pop also in case you want to push an element. So now I will add one more method, or I will use push method here to push an element. And here, instead of white car and red car, I'll go for blue car. Okay, blue car, and its price is around 13 lakh 550,000, and mileage is around 16.5, and it has a sunroof. Okay, so this is just an example that I'm taking. Now, what I'll do is I need a string representation of these objects. Means I want to see white car, I want to see red car, I want to see blue car. If you want to see those, what you can do, you can come here and go to source and override a method called as toString method. Okay, so toString method, just override it. Now you can see this is how this toString method looks like. Here you can see this, right? It looks like this. Okay. Now I'll come to my main method. I'll save it. Come to my main method, and here I do system.out.println of this list of cars. List of cars. I just want to see how it looks like. Okay, I'll just save it and run it. Now you can beautifully see these are the cars. First car will be blue. Okay, why it is blue now? Because you are using a push method. Okay, push method actually pushed it as a first element. Okay, so that's why the blue color has come at the beginning. Okay, and if you see red color is the next one, because here you did add first, like before white was there and you did add first, so now red was the second element that you added. Okay, then you did push of blue, so blue came first. Okay, in case you will do add first here also, you go and do add first here, so which will be the first object? Again it will be blue. But if you do add last, what I'll do, go and do add last. The moment you do add last, what will happen? This blue will go at the end, right? Blue will go at the end. Now blue will be the last car. First car will be red, second car will be white, and third car will be blue. Okay, so you can just go and run it. Now you can see red will be the first, second will be white, and the last, because I did add last. What is add last to? It will push that element into the as a last node of a linked list. As a last node of a linked list. Okay, so this is something. Now you want to iterate. Now there is a question. How do you iterate, or how do you print one by one all the elements present in the linked list? Again, you can use for each loop. So you can just go for each loop. But here you have to always mention which type of object you are getting. Always you are getting cars object, correct? No? Every time you will get a cars object. So I'll give cars, and variable is some car. Okay, every time I'll get one car from this cars. From where? From list of cars. From list of cars, I'll take one element every time and store it in car. So when I'm printing, I will do system.out.println of that car, so that every time when I print, I'll get all this as one separate object. Can you see? Red is there, white is there, and blue is there. Okay, so sunroof is true, true, and false. You can see this, right? So this is how I can store and retrieve the elements from the linked list. Okay, so in linked list, you can't use index value, correct? No, zeroth index, first index, second index. You can't use index value. Apart from that, like, is there any method to get the value? Like, you can go for system.out.println and see list of cars dot. There are methods like you can see here offer method, or there is a method called as peak method. Okay, what does peak method will do? It will see which is the first element in this in that particular list, but it will not delete that element. It will only show you which is the first element. Okay, so you can go and use peak method. Okay, so and run this and see what happens. So see, you are able to see one more output right here. What is the first element? It is red. So it is showing the first element. Peak method will actually show you the first element in that collection. Okay. Now there are some other methods. Say you want to peak first or peak last, or pop first and pop uh, last. Like see here you have peak last. There is a method called as peak last. So if you are using peek last method, what it will do, it will now point to the last object in that collection. Which was the last object? This blue one, right? Blue one is the last one. So if you run it, it will show this blue one. Okay, you want to pick the first one, then first one is the white one, right? You can go for peak first. So now it will give you the white one, which is the first one, not white one. Red one is the first one, right? Add first I did for red one. So red one will be shown first. See, red one is shown. So lot of methods are there, like how you want to do your linked list. After you do linked list, you want to search an element, right? Or sort an element, or you want to do any activities. Okay, this collections will be very helpful for you. Very helpful. Okay, it brings in a lot of new innovative methods we can directly use and do your job very easily. Okay. So like there are some more methods. I just want to show you some more methods. So here there is a method called as remove all. What does remove all do? It will remove all the elements from the collection. Okay, it will make it empty. Okay, or you want something called a size of, means you want to know how many cars are there. How many cars are there? So there are three cars, right? Three objects. If you do size, if you run it, it will give three. So there are three cars. It is giving you size of it. Okay, how do we compare prices? Superb. You can compare prices. I'll tell you that now. Just observe. Now somebody asks you, hey, I want elements. I want cars which is greater than 13,000, 13 lakhs, or less than 10 lakh. Less than 10 lakh, there are no cars. I want which are greater than 300. So how do we actually do this greater than 300? Is like you need to have a condition. Maybe in this for loop, you can go and write the condition saying that if car dot you can see here I am not having any getters and setters method, right? So that's why I'm not able to do. Here you can go and generate getters and setters methods, or at least if you use getters methods, it is fine. I'll go and use only getters, select only getters and generate and save this. And here if you go back, you can call that getter method. So you can use get cost. Every time you go and get the cost of it, and you can say if the cost is greater than 13 lakh, right? Maybe 13 lakh. I don't know whether this is correct. Yeah. If it is only greater than 13 lakh, then only print that car. Otherwise, don't print any cars. If this is the condition, if you are giving and running this, now superb, it will only print one car. Okay, see, only one car is printed, that is blue car. So this is like list of cars. I'll just comment this. Now you can see car which is greater than 13 lakh, 13 lakh. Just use plus. Okay. Now if you run this, you will be easily seeing only a car which is greater than 13 lakhs is this blue car, which is 13 lakh 13 lakh 50,000 mileage is this and sunroof. Now, if somebody asks you only print the cars which is having sunroof, what you will do? You will actually go and do dot get. So there is a get sunroof, is sunroof. So you will use is sunroof. If it is true, then only I'll print that cars. Otherwise, I'll not print. Okay. So you can see now. Okay. So here this is having sunroof true. This is having sunroof true. That's why two cars are printed. Are you able to get this? Just ignore this because this was from previous. I used this sentence. This is not applicable. Now I'm checking for sunroof, right? Is sunroof. If sunroof is there, then only print it. See, I am getting the sunroof. Then only it is printing. Now I want without sunroof. I want some car without sunroof. Now I can just go and write a not and save it and run it. So you will get without sunroof, which is there. See, sunroof is false. Only this car without sunroof. So I'll get that car. Is your doubt clarified? 419. Okay. So now basically somebody asks you, like, if you visit any of the websites like Amazon or anything, right? What is the main features that they will give you is, go to amazon.in. So the main feature that you get, or main feature that they provide use sorting options, right? How to sort elements based on price, or how to sort elements based on, see here you can see this, right? Sorting. See, only prices under 10,000. Any washing machines under 10,000. So here you will get only washing machines under 10,000. Can you see this? Yes or no? Correct, no? So these are all the prices are less than 10,000. Okay. And like if you deselect this and select any price, it will show all the products. It will show all the products. Now, if you want only between 20,000 to 30,000, if you select this, see 20,000 to 30,000, only washing machines will be shown to you. Now, how do you implement this? Okay. How do you implement this here? Let us see. Okay. Like I'll add some more cars so that you will get that feel of sorting done. Uh, you'll get the feel of sorting done, and I'll add one more element. Okay, so here instead of blue, I have a gray car. Okay, gray car, and this is just 7 lakh, 7 lakh, and mileage it gives us around 18.5, and it doesn't have a sunroof. Okay, false. And here I have maybe I have something called as gold color car, and this is like the costliest one. Maybe you can check it as costliest one. Maybe it is around 65 lakh. Okay, it is around 65 lakh, and mileage is very poor. Maybe it gives only 10.5 kilometer. It has a sunroof. Okay, so I have added lot of elements now, right? Now we will see what are those elements which are added, and I'll just remove this condition because I don't want this condition, and I'll remove this also just to show you what is the size and all that. Okay, so now as of now, if you're printing, it will print like this. See, red, blue, gray, gold, like this it will print, and this is random, right? This is 11 lakh, 10 lakh, 13 lakh, 7 lakh, right? It is not according to what you are looking for. Maybe if you are seeing here, in one more feature that you have is uh, here sort by sorting option, right? You can sort by low to high. Have you observed this low to high? Means first lowest will be shown, then going forward higher prices will be shown. And if you do the reverse, high prices will be shown, then goes with the low price, right? So these are all the features of some application. If you want to implement that here, right? If you want to implement that here, there is one interface that you need to think of. So what is that interface? Is comparable interface and comparator interface. There are two interfaces, comparable and comparator. So you can use this to do sorting, or like from lowest to highest to lowest. If you want to compare, you can use this. If you are using array, you can if array means a collection of one single type of data, right? Now if you want to do sorting, means on from lowest to highest, if you want to do with objects, it is not possible in array. It is very difficult to do it in array. But when it comes to um, collections, right, it is very simple. Okay, what is this comparable and comparator? These two are called as functional interfaces. Okay, very important interview question. What is comparable and comparator? These are functional interfaces. Functional interfaces. So what is the use of functional interfaces? Functional interfaces will have only one method or only one method in them. It's an interface which has only one abstract method. Okay, only one, no other methods, only one. How, what is that only one means? Like, for example, um, I have one, like I have an interface called as A. A is having only one method called as talk method, and that is not implemented. Similarly, comparable is having, there is a method called as compare to. Okay, there is a method called as compare to. Comparator has a method called as compare. Only one method is there. So like somebody asked this question, how do we compare the prices, right? So that's why this comparable and comparator are used. Okay, comparable as comparator has comparable interface has a method called as compare to. Okay, how do we do this, or how do we write all this? Is like, okay, this is the class which you want to do comparison, right? So you have to go and write implements comparator comparator or comparable. I'll use comparable now. Comparable. mm, Comparable. Implements. Implements comparable. Mm, Syntax error, or that can delete this. Doing something fun. Okay, the spelling was wrong, I think. Okay, so now this comparable is an interface. Okay, and if you see where this comparable is present, if you see it is present in like java.lang package. Okay, now it says, hey, okay, you are doing comparable. It is also saying mention the type of what you are comparing. You are comparing cars, right? So you say I'm only comparing cars. Okay. Now you can see there is one method I told in comparable called as compare to. So it's an interface, right? When your class is implementing an interface, it means your class is responsible for giving implementation. So just override a method called as compare to. Can you see this compare to method? Yeah. So this compare to method, you should give implementation. So how do you give implementation? So here you have to write some code. Okay. Compare to method will return positive number, negative number, or a 0. Okay, so based on that, you have to write the code. Here you can use if this say here whatever argument is coming, I'll take it as C. So I will use if C dot according to what you want to compare, cost you want to compare, right? C dot cost, right, is greater than this dot cost. If it is greater than, right, you return -1. Okay, else if C dot cost less than this dot cost. Okay, then you return +1, return +1, or just return 1, else return 0. Okay, I have written this logic. Okay, what it will do, whatever element that you are comparing, it will compare with the current class element. If this is greater than the other value, so like that, it will start comparing. Okay, so now here you need to write one line called as list of cars, or you can just use called as collections dot collections dot sort. Okay, and here you need to pass this list. Now what I'm doing collection dot sort. I'm passing this list. So what this sort method will do, it will go and understand how it should sort. So there is some error. Let us go and fix that error. Then this is not required. So here, the moment you do collections dot sort, so the sort method will go and check this list, and it will sort according to the logic that you wrote here. According to this logic, it is going to sort. Okay. So if you come here, save it. And now if you run it, so here you see, right, I'm sorting and then printing it. So beautifully, it will be sorted according to price. Okay. See, now you have only 7,000 or 7 lakh first, then 10 lakh, then 11,000, 11 lakh 50,000, then 13 lakh. At last, you have 65 lakh. See, at the last, whatever you have is having sunroof, and before that, whatever you had no sunroof. If the budget is less than 10 lakh or near to 10 lakh, you're able to understand this, right? How did I sort it? So sorting logic is something like this I have written here. So it is not only like this you need to write. There's no rule that you have to write like this. You can do something like you can choose a logic like if um, this dot or c dot cost cost minus this dot cost. So this will give you positive number or a negative number. Okay, so you should assume like that. If this number is greater than 1 or greater than 0 or greater than 1, it means it's a positive number. Then you have to return uh, 1. Okay, positive number you need to return. Otherwise, return minus 1. So like any way you can write your logic. There is no specific rule that you need to write. So here it is doing the opposite sorting. You can you see here? Now it is doing 65,000 means the highest number first, then the lowest, then the lowest, then the lowest, and then the lowest. Right? According to cost, it is doing the sorting. Now you don't want according to cost, according to mileage, which is giving highest mileage, that should be there. Then you can remove this cost and give mileage, mileage and mileage here. So now automatically it will sort according to mileage. Okay. 7 lakh car is giving full 18 mileage, then 16, then 15, then 13, and then 10. Now it is not sorting according to numbers anymore. Are you able to understand this? Did you understand how can we do sorting based on like whatever the elements which are there in a class, right? You can like you got an idea, right? Hello, students in the meeting, can you please respond? You are able to understand this? Okay. Okay. So now there is one more way I told you, right? One is using comparable and other one using comparator. Okay. So in interview, they will try to ask you this question, whether comparable is better way or comparator is better way. Okay. So they will ask you this question. So always you should answer comparator is better way. Okay. Comparator is better way. Why? I will tell you. Because comparable, if you are using, according to only one logic, you can do the sorting. According to only one logic, you can do the sorting. But if you are using comparator, you can create your own custom comparator. Okay. So what do I mean by custom comparator? I will try to explain you. So here you had this compare to method. So I'll just remove this and I will go for comparator. Maybe I'll send you this code. Maybe you can refer this later. I'll go for other thing. I'll send you this code, how to implement comparator. This is comparable. I'm sending you the code for comparable. Next, I will also write a code for comparator and send it to you. No need to worry. So now I will write for comparator. How do we write it for comparator? So what I will do, I'll remove whatever I wrote already for compare to. Okay, this comparable. I'll remove this implementation because I don't need it anymore. So done. Now I'll go here and instead of comparable, I will use comparator. Comparator interface. So can you see it is asking import comparator from util? Okay, I'll just import it. So now here there is a method in comparator. There is only one method in comparator also. In comparable also you have only one method. In comparator also you have only one method. What is that? It is nothing but compare method. Okay, so I'll implement compare method. So see here, you have this compare method here, right? So instead of writing compare method here, okay. So what if I write it here, what will happen? Now here also I can go and write the implementation. This also works fine. Okay, imagine now I don't have any comparison done. Now if I run this, see, you'll get some error saying that you are calling a method called as like previously in main method is giving error because here I'm using collection.sort. So if you are using comparator, right, you can't go for collection.sort. Okay, comparator will not work with sort method. Okay, so you need to write some other logic to implement that. Okay, so now if you are running this, this will have plain data where it is not sorted according to anything. See, price is also not sorted, mileage is also not sorted. You don't have anything, any sorting technique implemented. Okay. Now, how do we do this is same way like how you did before. So here you can go and write your implementation that if args1 args args of 0 dot like according to mileage you want, you can use mileage minus args of 1 dot mileage. So here also you can write a return return plus 1 means this is a condition. I need to write it in a bracket and say if this is greater than or less than. This is greater than 1. I'll return 1. Else or you can just use else return minus 1. So this also is fine. So if you do this implementation, you have done the implementation, but if you're running, it will not work. Why? in my main method, I have to do sorting, like according to what I am sorting. That you need to actually pass as an argument. According to what you are sorting, you have to mention. So previously we used something called as collections.sort. So this method will not work. So if you're passing just sort method, it will not work. What you have to do, you have to pass sort method with two arguments. One is list of cars that you are having, and also a comparator object. Okay. So you need to pass a comparator object. So what is that comparator object? It is nothing but new car of. Uh, just a minute. I have two arguments. Sort of, and what's this that I need to pass? Mm, just a minute. So it's a comparator type of object. What is that comparison type of object? Comparator type of object. So that is nothing but this new. Okay. So here, instead of just having cars here, I'll also generate one more constructor called as default constructor, and I need to have that also here. So I will choose deselect all the fields that generate without any arguments. Okay. So because I need to pass it here, I will use new cars. So this is a comparator object that you're passing. So the moment you pass this, now you can see it is sorted according to mileage. Yeah, it is sorted according to mileage. So 10, 13, 16, 15, and whatever, right? It is sorted according to mileage. But this is not the correct way that you should do. Okay. So like whenever you are doing this, we have to go and create our own custom comparators. Means I will say cost comparator. Okay, you can write a class called as cost comparator. Cost comparator. Okay, what is cost comparator class? It is one comparator which is used to compare the cost. Okay, cost comparator implements comparator interface. Comparator interface. And here I will pass what type of comparator. It is cost type of comparator. The separate class I will write. Okay, it's a cost comparator. Now I will implement this method here, compare method here. And here I will write the logic that I was writing in this method, right? So same logic, what I will do, I'll copy and I'll paste it here. So you can write it in one line. You can just go like this and write it like this. So also is fine. So change. Okay. So here this I think I have used it mileage as package. Mileage. I have to change the visibility of mileage as package, or I have to use getter method. So I don't have a getter method, so that's why it's giving error. So I'll go and generate a getter method here. File getters. I need getters also. So I think I have getters. Sorry, I have getters. So instead of writing here mileage, I will use get mileage. Get mileage, or I think it's a cost comparator. I'll get the cost. Get cost. And here also I'll get cost. Now see, according to cost comparison, you can do here. Okay, Same class I'll copy and I'll create one more class. Maybe I will name this class as maybe mileage comparator. Mileage comparator. Okay, what does this mileage comparator do? Here I will just paste this, and instead of this line, I will this only I need mileage comparator. Control X, Control V, and I'll remove this line. So now I need mileage comparator, and instead of get cost, here I'll write get mileage. Okay, get mileage, and here also I'll use get mileage. Get. Okay, so now what happens is I don't want to do it in cars. Whatever I'm doing this, I should not do it in cars. So I will go and remove this code here. I'll go and remove this code here. I'll remove this and save it. And here also I'll remove this comparator. I don't do comparison here. I'll not implement any comparison here at all. Okay, super. Now I'll go to mileage comparator, save it. There is some error. Maybe this bracket is an error. Done. So now I'll go to my main method, and here instead of me doing new cars off, here I will do new mileage comparator. Mileage comparator. Now you can run this program according to mileage, it will be sorted. See, now it is according to mileage. Now you want, okay, I did according to mileage. Now I want to do according to cost. Only thing I need to do is I will use cost comparator. The moment I do this, automatically according to cost, it will be sorted. See, 7,000 means this is incrementing order. You can see this. If you want to make it decremented, very simple, go to cost here. So here you change it. Okay, argument 1 and argument 2. If you change, it will do descending order of sorting. Okay, it's as simple as that. So like using this kind of thing is recommended when you go for comparator interface. Create your own comparator, then use it in your class. Use it in your class. Okay. So I'll send this all code to you. You guys can refer this. How to implement comparator interface. Okay. Control A, Control C. I'll post it in this chat. Okay. According to sunroof, you want to sort. Super. I can do according to sunroof also. So what I'll do here, I can go and create a new comparator saying new class, say sunroof comparator. Okay, sunroof comparator. And here I can use the same comparator interface, comparator of cars. Here also I can do that. Implements. Okay, so here there is a method called as compare to. So I'll just add an implement to compare to. Okay. So here, if you see, what do we get? Same logic you can copy here. No, logic will never change. But here it is not numbers, right? You are not comparing numbers, but you are comparing what is this Boolean value. So you need to be very specific in comparing. So you say like according to what you want to sort, you want only like a sunroof to be present or sunroof to be not present. Okay, either you will have one or you will have minus. Like you have plus or you'll have minus. So those two scenarios are there. A Boolean means either 1 or 0, right? You don't have any other options of comparing. So here you can just say if args2 dot get is sunroof. Okay, if it is true, you have to say if this is true, then return 1. Okay, if this is true, then return 1. That's it. Then return 1. Else is sunroof. Maybe I have to close a bracket. Okay, done. If there is a sunroof, then return 1. Else return -1. So that's it. This is the basic code that you need to write and nothing else. Now, if you want to do that sunroof comparison, instead of cost comparator, you do sunroof comparator. Sunroof comparator. Now see the magic. If you run the code, automatically according to sunroof, it is done. I can see here at the end, if you go, see, false, false, sunroof is sorted, and then true, right? So if you want the other way, you want first sunroof, whatever is there, it should come first. If you want to do like that, just go here and change it to -1 and +1. Here you do -1 and here you do +1. That's it. You save it and then run it. You will see that difference. See, true, 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 false, false. Are you able to understand this? Is it simple, easy? You know how to do comparison inside a given class, right? It is not sorted according to sunroof. Like previously, it was not sorted. It was according to cost and mileage. But here, if you see now, whatever your output that you are seeing, it is according to sunroof because it is not taking price also into consideration. It is not taking mileage also into consideration. Okay, so like randomly, it is giving you that output. Only with a sunroof you are doing because in this main method, only comparator you are using is sunroof comparator, nothing else. Okay, so I'll just share this code with you. You can go and try this out in your environment. You can go try this out. I'll share all the comparator classes also. Maybe cars also I'll share. Control C. Or I'll share it as a project only. Okay, why to share it like this? So I'll share it as a project only. Maybe it is present in documents. Workspace. Match. Is it present? Just a second. I will send you that report so that you will not behind space. Evening batch. I think which one you are in? Project structure. I would say. It's present in evening batch poly. Okay, KPRIT. Fine. So I'll send you this entire folder only. Go to poly, KPRIT, SRC, collections. I'll send all these classes so you can go and check it out. Control A, Control C. I'll paste it here. You can go and download this. Oh, sorry. So search. Maybe there is an option to attach files. Okay, I think you don't have access to that. I will just share those files only because you can't get that access also if I share. It's better I'll share these things only. Because why I'm sharing this code, whatever ebox problems you are having, right? All of them are based on this only. Okay, very simple problems. If you know this how to do, you will be able to do others also very simple, very easily. So that's why I'm sharing you the code. Okay. So please keep it with you somewhere in the notepad or anywhere you just save it and keep it. It will be helpful for you while you are writing some code and you get confused how to do that. You can come and refer this back. Okay, fine. Now we will go one step next. Okay. We will see what are the other collection classes that we can implement. So you can go and see this hierarchy, whichever class you would like to implement, you can tell me, I can implement. Okay. So here stack, stack, right? Stack has methods like push, pop, poll, right? So like, like first in like you are adding elements into that stack. If you pop only the last recent element added will be popped out, right? Say if set also, right? Set means duplicates values will not be allowed, but it is just similar to your list only. And you have map. So map is something that you should always learn. So what I will do, I'll create an object of hash map and show you how to use map object. The map is very important. In interview, they will ask you any one of this, whether they might ask you linked hash map or hash table or hash map or tree map. So tree map is like by default, if you add elements into it, automatically it will do the sorting. Okay. So hash map will not do automatic sorting. You have to do the sorting. Okay. So let us see how to work with map. Okay. So I'll give you one example on map so that we will move forward after that. Okay. So I'll just create a new package for maps. I'll close all these tabs on the right. So I'll go, okay, can you give me an example? Anybody wants to give an example for maps? Maps are nothing but key value pairs. Key and value, right? For every key, there will be a value. So I want you to give one example for such scenarios where you have key and value pairs. Key should be there, value should be there. Key should be there, value should be there. So something like that, have you come across? Like for example, username Girish. So key is username, Girish is the value, right? So password is the key, and whatever password Girish is having, that will be the value. So something like that, have you come across in your day-to-day activity? Can you give an example for this kind of scenarios, map kind of scenarios? I'm asking you guys. Any examples that you find? Key and value pair kind of. Um, okay, I think nobody wants to answer. Okay, I'll give an example. Like you go to exam. So imagine there's an exam class. Okay, exam class. So in this exam class, what will be there is generally you will have key value pairs like um, you will have subject and subject code. Correct. Subject is the key and subject code is the value. Right. So generally you might have come across that, right? So you'll have something called a subject name. So string subject subject and you have string subject code. Okay. So imagine this case where you have a subject and a subject code. Okay, subject and a subject code. So if this is the scenario, how do we define maps is what we will go into understand now. So I'll write a main method main class and which has main method in it. Let us try to understand maps. Okay. So I'll just create an object of hash map. I'll create an object of hash map. Hash map. Hash map. So can you see key and v here? Key and v. So what does this key and v says? There should be some key and some value. So in our example, what is the key and what is the value? Subject is the key and subject code is the value, and both are strings in nature. So I will say both are strings in nature. So I will mention string and string. I will say string and string. Both are string in nature. Okay. So key and value. Say I have pairs is equal to new hash map of new hash map of. Okay. So this is having value and pair. Value and pair. Okay. So string and string, string and string. Okay. Now I start adding, right? Now I will start adding values to it, string and string values to it. So how do I add? Okay, maybe I'll reshare my screen. My screen is not visible for some of you. Just go and reshare my screen. Is it visible now? The screen is visible for all of you? Yes or no? I say yes or no, man. You're able to see the screen or no?
Sir.
Oh, okay, super. Now what I will do pairs, right? Pairs dot, like there are methods to add, right? What are pairs? Pairs are nothing but object of hash map. So how do you add values into hash map? Okay, so that is something. So there are methods like put method. Can you see here? Put method. What does this put method do? It will add values to this key and value. Okay, so that is what it does. So you can directly go and add put method. So what is the key and what is the value? It is asking. Now, what is the key? What is the value? Do you know what is the key and what is the value? Means you can directly go and hard code saying that if the subject is physics, and sorry, and what is the subject code? Maybe subject code will be like PHY01, something like this will be the subject code physics. Okay. So like this is called as key and value, key and value. Okay. So something like this, you have some more pairs that you are having, say control V. Okay. So for chemistry, you have something called as CHEM. And for biology, you have something called bio. And for mathematics, you have something called as math 01. Enough. These are the 4 subjects that I am having. Okay. Now what this kind of data structure does is, so this will have a key value pairs. So you have an exam class. Our exam class has subject and subject code. Similarly, you have these objects. For physics. So all these are objects. Now I will just override or I'll just go and do system.out.println of this pairs. I just want to see how this pairs looks like. Okay, and I'll run this. You can observe it is like, see, chemistry, CHEM01, biology, bio, mathematics, math, and physics. So you can see there is like a key and is equal to value, key and value. So these are key value pairs which gets formed the moment you make use of maps. Okay, so whether it is hash map, tree map, linked hash map, whichever map class you store data in terms of key and value. Okay, now in case you want to get a value, okay, you want to get a value. Okay, say for example, you want to get what is the code of subject code of math. So if you want to get that, what you should do is you should pass key. Okay, so like I will just do pairs dot get. There is a method called as get. Here you have to pass the key so that you'll get the value. So what is the key for getting mathematics, or this math is mathematics? So you pass this key. What is the subject code for mathematics? If you pass the key, what is the output you get? You get math01 as the output. So can you see here math01 as the output? If you pass key, it will return the value. If you pass key, it will return the value. Are you able to understand this? Any doubts till here about maps? Maps has a lot of this useful methods you can look for. Okay, so here I have pairs dot. You can see a lot of other methods, right? Is empty, and it will check whether the map is empty or not. And you have something called merge. You have get, right? You have put, if absent, remove, replace, size. All these methods are there. Okay, there is a method called as key set. What do you mean by key set? Is it will take all the keys like physics, chemistry, biology, all the subjects it will take, and it will list. Okay, see here. Can you see chemistry, biology, mathematics, and physics? So this is called as key set. So what is that you should do today is go back home and see what are the classes, collection classes available, not the interfaces, only the classes, and what are the methods, how they are used in day-to-day programming. Like if you want to do it in other languages, you should write code for each and every line, right? For every method, like for hash map, also for tree map, or whatever you want to write your implementation. But here implementation somebody has already written. You should know how to use it, how to use trees, how to use graphs, or how to use maps, or how to use list, linked list, everything. There are some already built-in methods. You go and understand the built-in methods, and you should be able to implement any data structure, any data structure readily. Are you able to understand this? If you go to ebox also, all the problems will be based on this logic which I told. Okay, so just go to ebox and see what are the problems which are there. All of them are based on this. Maybe it is not enabled for you, or maybe only collection 1 is enabled for you, not collection 2. There's something called as collection 1 and collection 2. Collection 1 is like array list, linked list, only those things will be there. In collection 2, like I told you, comparable and compare to, right? So those things will be present. Okay, those implementations will see. This is collection 1, and there is something called as collection 2. In collection 2, you have comparable and comparator, all that. Okay, so you can go and see this. And collection 1 deals with all the classes which I was telling you: linked list, set, map, tree, all that. Okay, you can go and see problems based on that here. And like comparable and comparative, you can go and see the problems in this module. Okay, I will ask Minmini to like enable this module also. Today you can go back and practice collections 1 and collections 2. Okay, very easy topics, and you can go and practice this. And tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, whenever next batch comes to you, right, I'll be going with exception handling and multi-threading. Okay, so as of now, you just go and practice collections 1 and collections 2. Okay, so in collections 2, like very simple methods are there. So like iterator class is there. What is iterator? And just to like you have a list of values, you need to iterate and show them. That's it. This is one, and you have something related to. So there's this list of lists. Means there is a list present inside a list. So that kind of problems are there. Okay, so just go and try it out, or read all these problems and come back. Or if you get any doubts, there are some trainers already there. You can ask them, or you can list down your doubts and come to me the day after tomorrow morning itself. We'll clarify the doubts. Then we'll move forward. Okay. So I wanted to go and solve these problems by understanding the collection topics. You understood what are collections now, right? So go back and try to implement these topics to solve these problems. Okay, so that will give you more hold on the subject. So that is what I wanted to tell you. So maybe one problem we can see, and we can wind up. Say here, iterator class. So they are asking you to use a keyword called iterator. Iterator is nothing but it is used to loop over a collection. Loop over a collection. Okay. See here they are using iterator I is equal to list dot iterator. So I dot has next will like you I use that for each loop, right? It is an alternative for each loop. Okay, it's an alternative for each loop. This is having all the list objects. Then what you are doing, you are just iterating them one by one. You are printing. Has next method will take every value from that list and it will print that value. Next method. Next method will print the next value. Okay. Has next will check is this collection is having any other elements or not. So that is the work of has next and this. Let me give you that example here and then we'll wind up. Okay. So I'll give you example for hash next or iterator and then I will wind up. See here, sorry, here what we were doing, we are using this, right? For car, and you are printing this cars every time we are printing this cars. Now, instead of doing this, we can also use something called as iterator. Okay, there is an interface called as iterator. Iterator interface. So using this iterator interface, you can iterate over these elements. Okay, elements of this particular list. So you have to mention the type. Now you are iterating cars, right? Okay, so here you will use cars and you will say car or a list of or iterator. Iterator. Okay, so I'll just create one object like this. Now I have to write a logic for iteration to happen. Okay, or one by one, I need to print all these elements. So as of now, if you see, you are not able to print anything. You are printing nothing. Why you are not printing nothing? Because you did not iterate anything, right? So now you will use this iterator dot has next. Okay, there is a method called as has next. What this will do, it will return true or false. Means it will go and check this list of cars, and if there are elements in this or not, it will check. If there are elements, right? If there are elements, then it will check. Okay, how many elements? If there is any elements in this or not. So I want to make this as a like a factor to iterate, right? So for that, what I will do, equal to list iterator of. Okay, so now I will write this condition if list dot iterator of has next. Means if any elements are there, then you come here and do system dot out dot println of, you do iterator dot next. What is this next method? So next method will print the first element. It will check whether elements are there in this list of cars. List of cars dot iterator means it will take this as a list and check this has any elements. Okay, it is having an element. And what is the first element? It will print the first element. Okay. So until when it will print? Until it finds any values. Until that it keeps on iterating. Okay. So we'll see now. Now only one value is printed, right? Cars. Why it printed only one time? Because I wrote only if condition and checked it. If it is there, then only print. Okay, now it checked first time. Gold was there. Why? Because I already sorted according to sunroof. Means these true values are on top. So only first value is printed. But I don't want only the first value. I want all the values. So instead of going for while loop, I can go for sorry, if condition, I can go for while loop. So it will be like looping. Okay, every time it will come and check and it will print. Now I'll run it. Now you can see gold, blue, red, white, and gray. All the elements are printed. Right? Instead of going for loop, you can also go for iterator. What is iterator? It is used to loop over a collection. Okay, iterator is used to loop over a collection. Okay, so you can also take this as an example for solving the first example that you have in ebox. Okay, here I'm taking cars. Maybe they are taking something else there. Okay, some item type or whatever type they are taking, they will be taking some example in ebox platform. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'm sending this code. You go and take this as a reference and solve the iterator problem, which is given in the first this one. Okay, here what they are basically doing is like they are reading all these values, right? As a line they are reading, like one line is having different things like test, detail, type, john, name. So these things they are splitting. So here they are reading it, and see, you can see they're splitting it and storing it in a stall class. They're creating an object of stall and they're storing it into the stall. Okay, once all the values are stored, that they are iterating. That's it. Very simple and very easy. So similarly, what is the second problem, third problem, fourth problem? If you see, there is a sort method based on price. Just now we did this, right? Here they are doing price as well as booking time. Two things they are using. Okay, they are sorting based on price also and booking time also. I already told you how to sort it based on price. Not only price now, you should also based on the time also you should do this factor. Okay, see here price and time comparator implements comparator. Like I wrote this right. Just now I sent you code also. You just go and see this. Based on this, you write the logic. Okay, based on this, you write the logic. Maybe I'll just share you this logic alone. Remaining things you can go and build it by yourself. Remaining things you can build it by yourself. Right? Remaining things you can go and build it by yourself. It's very simple, very easy. Okay. So similarly, all the problems here are based on that. Like you will either use. So this is tree map. We never did tree map, right? What is tree map? It is a tree data structure. What is tree, right? You have this binary search tree or traversing of trees and all that. Now, for that, there are some methods present in this tree map. Go and read about tree map and solve this. Very simple and very easy problem. Okay. So I think I've solved many problems because they are very simple, very easy. Okay. So I don't want to spoon feed everything. You go and practice these problems. In case you are getting stuck, you come back to me. I'll help you. Okay. Okay. I think that is all for today. We will meet tomorrow or day after tomorrow. If somebody is interested, same topics will be repeated tomorrow. You can also come and join tomorrow also. Okay, fine. Thank you. Go practice. Come back day after tomorrow.